everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and today I'm bringing you my reading weekly wrap-up of everything that I read, that I'm still reading, and things that I didn't get to that I wanted to previously. So yeah, so that is what the goal of this video is. So if you are interested in what I am currently reading, what I read, and want to read in the future, please continue watching this video. Alright, so I'm going to go kind of in order of what I finished first, so I'll put a picture up on the screen. This book was When She Returned by Lucinda Berry. This is the same author that wrote The Perfect Child. 4-star rating. I really did enjoy it. It took on the view of a cult and what can happen to someone who gets sunk into it. There was a lot of different things going on. I love the author's writing style. She is a clinical psychologist and she uses her experience as this type of professional to create her stories. So it is so engaging. You are constantly trying to think, you know, is she, was she, did she, and how did it all come about? So I really did enjoy it. It was a great experience through. I almost cried at the end. I'm not a huge crier, so I managed to hold off, but the very end was heart-wrenching. But yes, so if you enjoy psychological thrillers, I think you would enjoy this author. And When She Returned was the second book that I've read from this author. The next, along kind of the same lines, so the first one was a psychological thriller. This is a horror book, The Twisted Ones. Again, you are following the character Mouse. She has been tasked by her ailing father to clear out her deceased grandmother's house, who happened to be a hoarder, and everything is just slam-packed in this house. The only thing that she didn't hoard was animals, so that's about the only forgiving grace in that. And you're following her and experiencing things that the step-grandfather had talked about in his journal. There were some creepy moments, but not, you know, terribly horrific or anything like that. Horrifying, or it didn't keep me up at night. I did give it a 4-star rating. I did enjoy my experience reading. This is the first T. Kingfisher that I have read. I would definitely look into other books by this author. It was pretty good. The creatures were very creepy in and of themselves. So definitely worth the read, I think. And then the only other book that I did finish this past week was Heart's Insanity. It was not one of the ones that was supposed to be on my reading list. I just got into a mood of wanting to read a romance, so I picked up on my Kindle Unlimited Heart's Insanity by Ellie Masters. I have read one other previous book from her. It was a free book out of my Reveal book box, which is my romance subscription box, and so I was interested in reading more for her, and they were on Kindle Unlimited, so I did pick up, I think, a start of a new series. It is the Angel Fire series. There you go. So Heart's Insanity, the first book out of the Angel Fire series. It deals with the rock band Angel Fire and all the antics there that each of the individuals do. This first book is dealing with Ash, who is the lead singer for Angel Fire, and Dr. Dr. Summers. Her first name was Sky, so Dr. Sky Summers. I'll get it straight eventually. And how they come together. She just got out of a very bad breakup with her ex, so there's drama just to start off the story with. With that relationship, she just ended, and then she met Ash by accident, and then seeing how they're going to get their relationship going, because there are sparks, but they come from two such separate worlds. She has a very traumatic past that is revealed in the story, and then he also has a lot of baggage from his past, being the rock star. And everything that goes involved with that. So they're having to learn to balance both of their lives and then come together and meld these two really different lifestyles into one unit. So it was a very good read. I did enjoy it. I like her work. She does deal with a lot of different type of traumas and situations. So just know that going in if you are interested in reading Ellie Masters, but I happen to enjoy her writing style, so 4 stars on this one as well. Okay, so those are all of the books that I did manage to read. 3 books, not too bad, a lot less than I have previously, and this is only going to get shorter as we go. Now that school has started back, I went back to work this past Wednesday. So yeah, I did not get anything read really on my other books. So I'll put up the first book. I left it at work. Go me. The Graceling, I actually am really enjoying it. I finally got into it further. Again, the magic system in this world, they're called graces. It could pretty much be anything, and it just gives the individuals an advantage over normal people without graces. They are looked down upon by society. People don't want to hire them. They don't want to work with them. They don't want to be around them. They won't even look into their eyes. A mark of a Graceling is 2 different color eyes. It can be different combinations of colors. I think our lead character, she has, I think, blue and green eye. 1 blue, 1 green, if I'm not mistaken. And her particular grace is killing. She is pretty much undefeatable by normal people, normal soldiers, and she has pretty much lived her life since a young child who was being raised by the king, which happens to be her uncle, which is demented in and of itself. And he uses her to enforce all of his rules, and is the punishment if you break the rules is delivered by her. So a lot of people fear her. Basically, she is the king's rabid dog that is sent out to do all the punishing. So this story is just evolving, and you're getting to know all of the characters, and then enters Poe, who is looking for his grandfather who has been kidnapped and taken, and he's trying to solve the mystery of who did it and all of that. So I cannot wait to see how this book resolved. I think I'm in chapter 18, 19 in the book, so almost halfway through, and I'll be able to read more on it when I get my hands back on it on Monday when I go back to work, if I have any downtime. Alright, the second book that I am still currently reading, this is Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. I have made a little bit of headway. Again, it's a little bit more of a darker fantasy, so I haven't read as much of it. And it is a brutal world. I do enjoy kind of the reason behind his revenge, but he is almost not a very lovable character in a way. Because he is so dark based off of his past and what occurred. Now he has made this random decision to go back home to the king, who has already remarried and now has another son. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to resolve itself. So I got quite a ways left to read on this one. I'm having to take this one in a little bit of smaller chunks. Just because of the nature of the writing, but it's interesting. It's just not my typical fantasy that I normally get into. So again, it leads more towards the dark fantasy / grim dark mode. So I'm tiptoeing my way into it. It's not a favorite genre, but I'm still working on it. And then the last book that I was supposed to be reading on last week, and I've definitely not made any headway, this is The Snakes by Sadie Jones. I've gotten a little bit further in. I am currently, I think, in starting chapter 5. I haven't read that much more from the last time I did the update last week. I'm trying, my mind just fixates on one particular book, and then that's where my mind wants to go. So I may do a little bit of changing on the next week and see how that goes. But I'm still intrigued. It may get DNF'd later if I don't read much more out of it just for the time period. Not that it's not a good book. My mind is just not wanting to read it at this moment in time. So that kind of be on the lookout for that possibly next week if I make that decision. Alright, I thought that was the last book, The Snakes, but the actual last book that I am still working on is the audiobook, The Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I have made quite a bit of headway because it takes me almost 25 to 30 minutes to get to work, and then I listen to it also on the way home or anytime I am going around town. I believe I am in chapter 22, so I'm roughly 100 chapters, maybe 101 and a half or so chapters left to read, because I think there are a total of 122 chapters in the book. So yeah, I can't wait to continue, again, following all of these multiple POVs in this book. There are a lot of more flashbacks about Gavilar and Dalinar and how the kingdom was created. And then I think it's going to address how it ended up breaking up after his death. So I am enjoying it. I do have the physical book, which is in the other room. I forgot to grab it before filming this video. Yeah, I am enjoying it. This is the third book of the Stormlight Archive series, and then after that I will probably pick up Rhythm of War via audio as well. Now let's get into the books that I will possibly pick up if I can get at least one, maybe two books read this upcoming week. So the very first book that I possibly could choose from to pick up, this is Her Property by Claire Wilder. This was one of the books from my newest Reveal book box for July. It sounded interesting, so I wanted to pick it up. It's dealing, I think, with a woman who made a major public mistake. She goes on vacation. Her boss kind of basically sent her on an R&R to one of his properties, and the only stipulation is she cannot get romantically or get involved in any sort of way with his neighbor because they are in a property dispute. So that's kind of the setup of this book. So I cannot wait to see. Hold on, you might hear the cat scratching at the door. Hopefully that won't continue. But yeah, so I cannot wait to read about this and see what I think of Claire Wilder's writing, because I think this is the first book that I've read from that particular author. I shared last week that I wanted to read The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. Again, it's kind of a chosen one or a princess who's to become the next ruler, I believe, but she's trying to avoid a political marriage. So she basically runs away and runs from destiny. So I cannot wait to see what really happens in this book. So that's another possibility that I could pick up. And then the third option for this upcoming week is Three Dark Crowns. This is by Kendar Blake. This is the Three Dark Crowns series. This is the first book out of it. Again, it follows a set of triplets who are born in the kingdom, and to become the next queen, they basically have to fight against each other, kill off the other two, and then the last one standing takes the crown. And I think in the magic system, each of the heirs has some type of magical ability. So that is my third option to see which I will pick up. I'm not exactly sure where, but it may be the romance, because I'm heavily fantasy driven. I do have maybe one kind of a mystery thriller book on dock, so I may do the romance just to give my mind a little bit of a break. But yeah, those are my choices, and I'm still, like I said, Graceling is still at work, and that's also to be worked through as well. Alright, you guys, leave me some comments down below. What did you think of these books? Have you read any of the ones that I did complete? Any of the ones that are up on to be read in the near future? Just leave me any type of comments down below about that, or anything else that you would like to share with me. And until my next video, I hope you have a great one. Bye guys!